Welcome to the 180 podcast, brought to you by BTFU. Plenty to talk about this week. We're going to do a really in-depth preview and see where all the teams are at after 2 rounds of Unibet preview at the end, and a few hot topics, of course, as there usually is. Let's start with the check-in. Ready?
Hello, Stuart.
How are you?
Very well,
Alan?
thanks, my friend. I'm going good, mate. It's firing on all cylinders today. Vegas.
You've come out of the blocks quick.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that, to be honest
Sure,
with you. Yeah,
mate, you're Stuart.
I'm a bit slow today.
Yeah,
I'm a
you
bit
are.
slow.
You work hard, mate.
I'll let you,
Yeah.
be the funny man today. You know?
Yeah,
You're
let's see how we go
such a funny
tonight.
guy. So check in, mate. How you been?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Trained this morning.
Quiet
Saw you.
weekend?
Yes, very quiet weekend. Was supposed to shout out to Kiri Martin. Sorry I didn't go to your 40th. I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest.
I'm sorry, but I just couldn't be bothered.
I
but
just
shout
don't
out.
do dress ups, Kiri. Happy
Was it
birthday.
dress up?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate dress
Just
ups.
don't do dress ups.
What was it? What was the theme?
Oh, I think cowboys and cowgirls or something like that. But
That would have suited you.
yeah, what, the cowgirl?
Cowboy. What's that show?
What?
With Heath Ledger was in it with
Brokeback.
Jay Gillian.
Brokeback
Mountain.
Brokeback.
You could have went with another bloke and just saddled him, just spooned him at the party.
That's right. That's why I didn't go.
Mace, you've been going pretty good, mate, with your tips there as well. What's happening there? You got you and Chinese Dave.
I've actually been copying it from a few people. The boys know, saying, can Rennie embrace tip a winner in the NRL?
The NRL wasn't good. First 2 weeks.
We've been stiff because we all tip Para. They get
Yeah.
beat and then they come out and obviously won impressively against Broncos. And then we'll see what Canberra does this week.
Yeah.
But yes, horse racing's been good. Golden Slipper weekend.
Yep.
And we're going to be running a punters club on Saturday. So everyone check in the link here. Come and get involved in the punters club. We're going to have a good crack.
Beautiful. All right. Anything else in the check-in, Ren?
I just
We're both pretty boring over the weekend.
What's doing with that hat?
At Unibet Specialist.
You sure you haven't been to Turkey? You're just trying to...
Nah, not yet.
Is there any hair on the hat that's fallen off?
Mate, I've been too busy working on the app.
Are
It's
you
only a couple of
shedding?
weeks away.
He's shedding like a husky.
Actually, has Ren done this one lately? You know, he does his little touch at the front.
What is it?
I don't know. Did you fix your eyebrows on the way in?
I don't know. Nah.
All right, let's get to it. We'll start with Alex Johnston and his record.
Yeah.
Everyone's talked about it. You were there, I believe. It's an incredible record. I mean, Ken Irvine, the record stood for a long time now, and the way it happened, the atmosphere, everything. You were out at the ground. What was it like?
Yeah, look, I didn't go into the actual game. I did a street talk before it. It was actually a lot of buzz around the stadium. A lot of people, a lot of interesting characters from both.
How was your street talk with the South fans? And
well, Roosters fans went
Roosters
much better,
fans
but
as well, yeah.
I don't know what kind of content we got out of it. There were some quite intoxicated people, and a few teeth fell onto my shirt, but it was it was good.
It's kind of like a lot of the people I've spoken to that went to the game said that normally that rivalry that we talk about and that hatred, they reckon just because of the moment and the achievement from Johnston, everyone was just in a really good mood and just happy. And South fans were happy he got the record. Roosters were fans, were happy they won the game. So everyone was kind of walked out of there regardless. They were in a good mood, which is unusual for that sort of game.
Kid from La Perouse gets the record. There was actually a kid I bumped into that I knew from the UK, and he lives down in Thurrool. And I just said to him, are you a South or a Roosters supporter? He's been over here for a few years to play, second grade footy, and he said, no, I'm just here to see the record. So it was a massive occasion, you know. Like, obviously, I didn't really, a big occasion, but for someone from the UK, I actually met 2 people from the UK to hopefully go and see that record be broken, and especially against the Roosters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they didn't get the win. I'm sure our man over here was pretty happy.
He
but,
was happy. We got text messages as soon as it was over.
The first supporter on the field, a Rooster, which was
Was it
pretty
Mace?
funny.
Was that you?
No, it wasn't. I watched it. Well, you know one thing, look, and massive congratulations. First thing, when that happened, I go, this is awesome. But calling him the greatest winger of all time.
Yeah, who's calling him that though?
But it has been in the media, greatest winger. I think
it's a tricky one, right? Because you got to give him his time, right? Like this is his moment, and it's an achievement none of us could ever dream of, really. The people are kind of talking about that, where because he holds the record, is he on the podium, top 3 wingers of all time, and it's a hard one to explain because he's such a great finisher. He's got perfect timing. He always ices it when he has to, and that's why he's got the record. But then if you do compare him to, the best of all-time wingers,
Like
you don't have him.
But he still has to get that ball over the line, and he's played in some great back lines, but you still got to finish him. And that second try, full length of the field, that was
great try.
That wasn't just off a set play in good ball. It was, obviously Fafita causing some chaos, and then Latrell setting him up. That was the perfect way for him to break the record, I believe.
That was an awesome try to ice it, wasn't it? Like at that moment, and like you said, Fafita, Latrell, and then him just sprinting down the sideline. What did we think of the game? We may as well stay there. Roosters looked like they were in control. South got those 2 tries before the crowd stormed the field. Looked like they had regained ascendancy and were going to probably go on with it. And then after the break, it was the Roosters who were too good.
I think it was the defensive effort from the Roosters at the start of the game. I think they had about 2 or 3 repeat defensive sets at the start, and that really set the tone for where the Roosters were. Because we weren't sure what Roosters team we were getting from the week before. DCE came out and answered his critics. There was kind of a leash put on Sam Walker to some capacity, do you believe?
Yeah.
He wasn't playing.
I reckon he'd been told.
He'd
been told for sure.
See, where do you go for the rest of the year with that, bro? It's really tricky one, right?
It's tricky, but, I said it on the show. I've said it a million times. Like, if the Roosters complete at 75% or better, they win. They complete it at 76. If they get those numbers up even higher, they're going to be hard to beat. Sam, I think early on in the season, you've got to play high percentage footy. You're right. As the season goes on and you get your timing right, your confidence, you bank some wins, then you can test your hand a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think, if you start the year out of the blocks and like they did over in New Zealand like that, and they're 0 from 2 against, and they lose to South at home and all that, the drums start beating. So it's like, let's just play a little conservative here. We've got the firepower. We can beat pretty much any team or capable of beating any team if we complete at a higher rate and don't just absolutely ruin yourselves, which is what they tend to do.
Before we move on to the Rabbits, what do you think of DCE and Sam Walker's defence?
It was better.
They got up in their face.
Yeah, it was
right?
better. And their speed of line was good.
So they got up and they waited for their inside and outside defenders to help them out, right?
Yeah, it improved a lot. They were given, that right side I was worried about when, they scored. They were pretty soft. That was a soft try. When Latrell was just drawing in, he was just giving the eyes. He was always going to flick it. Like that's what he was trying to do, get the winger to engage. And, they were a little bit passive at times there. But that's, I suppose, you kind of, it's one of the best left-hand sides in the comp, if not the best. So that's understandable. There was an improvement all around for them.
You got Robson coming back in.
Yeah, this week. He's coming back early.
Week. You got
Billy Smith.
Stay off the e-bikes, mate.
If you get an e-bike, get a flight risk and wear a helmet. Yeah. All right, that's all I'll say.
That was a good little fucking shout out there.
Flight risk are the safest you can track them and everything. Set
Nafahu White. Strength to strength. That kid is a beast.
He is.
He'd be in the top 3 front rowers in the game, I believe, at the moment.
Yeah. Mark Nwonga need to anxiety.
Yeah.
He sums up the Roosters at times because
he's the blueprint.
Mate, he's so excited. It's exciting to watch, I love watching him.
Yes.
And I love that he plays on the edge and takes risk, but man, you just you don't know what he's going to do next. You just don't know what he's going to do next.
How do you replace him for next year in the fact of entertainment?
Yeah.
He's my head on a plate every week. Just kick to him.
Oh, you'd be just bombing him every time.
Just stand back and just watch him just do something stupid.
He tries to throw it in, man.
South, it was funny. It was their big players that came up with good things and bad things. Latrell not finding touch. Trying to do that flick pass. Cody, you get under his skin, he gives a penalty away. Just things like that. There's only small things I saw with South that I thought, there are areas that can be fixed, but Just petty stuff, right?
Yeah.
Really petty stuff.
Well, I mean, with Cody, you know, if you get under his skin, you know what's going to happen. It's not hard. It's like fishing in a fish tank. Like, it's not a hard get. Like, he just bites, you know. And he's going to, that's the way he plays, though. I can't see him changing the way he plays. I think more so you look at the likes of Latrell and Fafita, and they're either here or they're sort of here. You know, like, and to win comps, you need more of the, you know, can they just level that out? And, you know, Latrell's got to do less work now. I mean, he set Johnston up for his, you know, record-breaking tries and did it with ease. You know, he can score from 10 metres out, give him early ball, and he's going to do that all year. He's going to hurt a lot of teams this year. If he can just rein it, like, lessen the mistakes and not try too hard. He doesn't need to try too hard.
Nah, their left edge is still very clunky. Very clunky.
Yeah, their timing was off. Fafita, even that try for Fafita led to the Johnston one. That was individual brilliance. That was just him being that powerful. That was when he burst onto the scene kind of run. You know, you don't see enough of these days, but you don't see the back
good,
rower hitting inside
the good
the
ball
three.
shape is not, it's not quite clicking yet. And that's why it's great that they can go right. And I heard you speak to Campbell Graham about it last night. And that's why there's such a threat on the right edge, because people are loading up on their left edge. But it's still not where it needs to be.
But imagine, like, you know, they got such a good left-hand edge in attack, and teams are throwing an extra man around there or know that it's coming and they still can't stop it. So that's huge for South moving forward. Like, that, and I heard Wayne after the game, he was really positive and said we can take a lot from that, and they can.
Yeah.
And even, like I said to Campbell last night with Jack next to him, if they can get a half, I mean, who's the young kid who's the young kid?
Humphreys?
No. He played first round.
Yeah.
We should know this.
Sorry. You should. He's injured, right?
Yeah, he didn't. He played round one.
Anyway.
He's only like 20 kilos, but he I think was the smartest half they've got in getting them the ball at the right time, and I saw that a bit against the Dolphins, and it's something that they've got to work on, because it's their that's their what would you call it? It's a great opportunity for them, because, like I said, the oppositions are just going to be focused all week on that on Latrell and Fafita and Walker, and if they can get that ball to Jack early and Graham on that edge, then they'll do the damage, because they'll always have an extra man there. They'll almost always have an extra man. If they don't, they won't have. They'll have time and space. But I think South is still going to do really well this year. The Roosters, my takeaway is that you know, they're going to do pretty well too. And if they can just get that completion rate up.
I've got a quick question for you. We always talk about Bellyache's round one record. For some reason, Robbo seems to have an unbelievable round two. His round one record's horrific.
They bounce back.
They bounce back. What is it with the bounce back, you reckon?
I don't know.
Just learning from your mistakes in round one. Like,
probably getting a bit too cocky going in round one, thinking you're all over it, and then just
you look at that,
old habits creep in under pressure.
And you look at that side too, mate. It's like there's so much strike everywhere. They just get too excited. You know, like there's so many options that they could go to, and unfortunately, like,
and
you've
they just
got to hold the ball. They just tinkered with it a little bit, completed higher, and got the win.
All right, right now the Broncos 0 from 2, and they were in control of the start of the game against Parramatta, and then get beaten 40-32. Now you said at the start of the year, which is why I want to go there, that you had a feeling that they would fall away this year, and they wouldn't back up last year's grand final win. What are you thinking right now?
I see a disconnected team that's not showing enough desire. You know, to get that 20-minute period where they put on a fair decent score, you don't let teams come back from that, especially when you're the premiers.
Yeah.
However, what I will say, Braith, is that I'm seeing a lot of what I saw last year, and I'm not taking anything away from them winning the premiership. They won the premiership, but they didn't have a good fucking year.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't consistent.
They were
throughout
inconsistent.
the year. So they can turn it around. It's just a lack of desire that I'm seeing at the moment. So, and we could talk about Ezra Mam's defense, like that was uncharacteristic. Maybe he's like carrying injury. Shibasaki's obviously gotten dropped to the bench this week. Maybe if I looked at it a little bit closer, it could have been Shibasaki's fault that Ezra got isolated a little bit, but I was worried. I was definitely worried. Yes, they can turn it around, but I honestly believe that they won't make the 4 this year.
Yeah, okay. That's an early call from Rennie, but he's so far on track. Yeah, they're kind of I said it last week and I said it I think last year when they were struggling. You can see it in their eyes, the team. You can see they're flat. You can see the deer in the headlights. You can see the energy. It's not hard to read if they're on or not. Like it's visual with them. I find when they're on, they're bouncing around and Reese is swinging and they're all on their toes and they're on the ball and they're pushing up and defensively they're covering each other and there is a really distinct difference between when they're on and when they're not, and that to me is attitude and desire and you can see that. And the question mark was always going to be, do they have the desire or as much as they did last year to go on that run? Like you're right, like there was a period last year when they were playing exactly like this. Yeah. And we were going, they're hopeless. But we were saying it, they are hopeless. Yeah. Because we were bagging you because you tipped them to win the comp. Yeah, we go, mate, how good your roughy going? And they're $8 roughy too. But like you were like,
the 26.
Hey, that's a roughie for me, $8.
Yeah.
Just a bad chopper.
But
like so people forget about that. They got a heap of pressure on them. The Payne Haas situation, and even with Madge, and now you've got Gordy coming at Renault because Renault came on Friday Night Footy on Fox with me and did us a favour to come on our panel, and Gordy has a shot, which Madge has fired back at today. But, there just seems to be a lot of people who have got it in for the Bronx. And, of course, the better you do, the more people in Australia sometimes want you to fail. There's a bit of tall poppy syndrome as well.
It's definitely a team I don't want to fail. Like, I did tip them because I admire the players so much because they are so fucking talented. There was even periods, and I wanted to ask you about Renault, even when he got the ball, he just looks like Father Time just caught up with him just a fraction. Like, he just had the ball and would just be didn't know what to do with it. There wasn't anyone like really just like, give me the ball, let me take the reins, let me be the leader.
I think when you get to that age, and I experienced it, like, when you get to that age, you need a young, youthful team around you, but you need everyone else playing well. Like, that's right. You can't carry a team at that age. You just can't. Like, some of the greats have over. If you look at Cameron Smith and the likes, they're different levels, right? But I remember when I was at the end and I struggled and I couldn't find that extra whatever motivation or energy or speed or agility or whatever. I was fit, but like. It's hard. You need the other players because you do lose a step. Your body's sorer than it's ever been.
Yep. And I didn't see anyone get around him like he's our captain. He's a bit older.
And you've got 2 of them now.
And he's drifting across field a little bit looking for a runner to pick up. I'm like, no, I'm going to protect my
They've got Hunt as well, mate.
Give me the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Like, Renault, I'm coming off. I've got you at all costs,
Yeah. So he goes both ways, but I hate to say it, but Ben Hunt's similar situation, and they got 2 in the team that are legends of our game. Won a grand final last year, but they're just coming to the end at the same time in key positions. You know, and the young guys are always going to be a little bit temperamental or vulnerable or inexperienced. So you need both. You need to leverage the speed, the youth, and exuberance in the young guys, and then you want the senior players to have a bit of a rest and just guide us around with leadership and getting the game plan on and executing that game plan and, sort of being the brains, right? Yeah. Like it's that combination of the two, and the young guys aren't doing it, and the older guys aren't doing their job. No one's doing their job. And that's the problem there.
At least he's got the team right. You had the Tigers at the end.
That's that. Like, I'd love to get that team up now and have a look at it. I'd much rather the team they got up there.
Tigers great.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not go.
And then
I
just before
got
we
some
move
bad
on, can I
flashbacks.
see more front rowers tip to other front rowers? Like, who put Haas through? Carrigan?
Yeah, it was Carrigan put Haas
Just
through.
fucking please bring back forwards passing to each other through the middle of the
Well, that's what Para do, and Para.
Well, that was the reason we tipped.
That's
Para
right.
round one.
They did what we said they were going to do round one in round two, and
we're ahead of time.
they completed 80% and put on a clinic.
Don't see enough of it. Remember, like, we had the Dogs, right? Like, once Ogath learned how to pass, Roy Asatasi learned how to pass.
Yeah.
Mace had a little tip. Now the game's speeding up around the middle of the ruck, right? That's where the space is, in the middle third of the field. Forwards, learn how to pass.
Well, it's come back now. We had Junior Barlow on last night, and he's lost 25 kilos. He said he had to. Like, he had to.
Just running pairs.
He had to, and that's where Rolls really smart. Is he sees where the game's going. He's a modern day coach. He's got them all fit, all in good shape, all have a pass, and it's working. It's worked for them on the weekend. I think it'll work for them as the year goes on. I was worried after round one, but they're kind of like they completed, I think, at 49% that first half against Melbourne.
That's got to be the biggest thing that's going to be with the repeat set, the six again. As you said, the room, it's the big boys in the middle that are going to struggle the most with that, surely.
Yeah,
and that's where you isolate. Explain it.
You're isolating, and we were bigger at the Dogs in 04 was with our front rowers and back rowers being able to tip to each other. Like, we'd run in pairs or we'd run in threes even, and then have shape on the edges, and that's where our game's going back to. It's not just the 9 get out for a block shape. It's just like forwards, flood the middle, run in pairs.
Yeah, on the advantage line, short passing, then you get the one-on-one, you get the quick play of the ball, then you see the space.
There was another one over the weekend, but it escaped.
Let's get to the six agains. I had Andrew Abdo on 360 week one, and I said to him, I'm not going to pull the trigger on my thoughts just yet. Week two, I'm watching the games, and I went over to Az's in the afternoon when you were supposed to be at the 40th that you didn't go to. And I'm watching the games. I watched all three, Super Saturday, back to back. And I felt myself just, and this is just me, I could be wrong, right? I said it to Brent Reed because he's fully supportive of the six agains, and a lot of people are, a lot of journos are, all that, and Volandis is really big on it. We'll get to that, but I'm just saying from a fan's perspective, I'm watching it, six again. I'm going, what the fuck? Like, some teams, you going, well, I didn't see any infringement in that.
So
run.
you want to know what the infringement
Well, yeah,
for?
I want to know, but I know that even if they tell me, it's like, well, I don't really agree with it because it was a quick play of the ball anyway. So how could it have been an infringement if it's a fucking quick play of the ball?
So it could have been from someone offside.
They're looking for it, mate. They want to speed the game up.
For the ruck, or they're looking for it everywhere.
It's all
right?
for the optics of the game. It's for the TV rights. It's how it looks. It's like selling it to, subscribers on Fox and people watching it on Nine, and he wants it to be exciting and flamboyant and high scores and all that. And I get that, right? Like, it's entertainment. That's how we sell the game.
Yep.
Entertainment.
Yep.
Even the globalization, all that. I get that. But I just concerned about the extremes we're going to, and even the players and coaches. Players and coaches. No one's really talking to them about it because they're not allowed to talk because they're, it's a bit controversial if they come out and complain or, they get fined in press conference. But they got a whole preseason now where there's 3 or 4 rule changes a year. They got to change their whole systems.
Why are they doing it?
Right? They got to change the whole systems. They got to train for it all year. They've got to be, like we talk about, we're big on the HIA, right? We're huge on the HIA and protecting players and player welfare after footy. But we're happy to just burn the fucking shit out of them now with the 6 again rules and fucking burn them into the ground, mate. Like, the teams can hardly fucking stand up at the end of the game for 20 extra games, internationals, to the point where we want it faster. But, like, it's just fucking a bit contradicting.
And
How many more hammies are going to go now?
Well,
Soft
there's more
tissues.
injuries. I don't know. Well, I don't want to go too hard on it, right?
No, it has to be spoken
I'm just
about.
talking, it's a bit more of a different environment here. 360 is pretty formal, and, this is a bit like just me as a punter, as someone who's watching it. And you can go over the stats, and that's what Reddy started doing with, Canberra, Melbourne and Penrith are the best at it, and look at them. They're at the top of because they've focused on their defence. It's like, yeah, fuck, that's great, mate. Like, it's 2 rounds. But I want to watch a game that I enjoy. I know what, you know when you watch rugby and they give penalties and you go, what the fuck was that for?
Yeah.
And they just stick their hand up and you go, well, that's kind of what's happening for me.
Happening.
Do you want to?
We had
you
the
need
best.
to pop up on the screen.
Yeah, like use it in subtitles or something.
Yeah, subtitles.
Subtitles. This penalty was for blah blah blah.
Yeah, just like SBS.
And it's just like, how do you manipulate these? When you got there. What are you looking at on SBS?
Oh, no, it was about 1 a.m.
Hangout, the aerial.
I'm not that desperate, man. I just remember as a kid trying to sneak on there.
You were watching aerobics old style before school. Right here. Anyway, and then you think, all right, how do you manipulate this rule? The way I'd manipulate it, right, is that you always fight to play the ball. Like, that's a given. I'd be doing remember Mick Hancock?
Oh, dude.
He'd be like a bucking bronco. Like,
Kicking
the
out.
more you carry on the ground, it's like a fucking fish out of water. They're going to give a 6 again, right?
Yeah.
You know, so they'd be teaching their players.
And the
carry
hooker
on
doing
like
these
an
ones.
Yeah, well, you're seeing that. Like, then then people are complaining about players going up to refs. They're all getting all frustrated and they're trying to milk penalties and then they're going up to refs going, what was that for? And that's a combination of things because a lot of players don't know what's going
Is
on.
it a lot coming from the bunker?
The bunk? I think
Is the bunker
I don't
like
know.
sending it down?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And because it's expanded now too, so it's in a bigger period of the field, a longer period of the field.
Yeah.
So there's more of them. Anyway, I keep like thinking, man, I love last year. Like last year, the final series was epic. I don't know why we keep changing them. And people say, well, you got to evolve. Every sport's got to evolve. But
Evolve over 12 months.
what do you like? Where?
What do you mean? We just had the best year we've ever had.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I was sort of, I don't know. We'll just keep an eye on it. I still love the game. I still think it's great.
Fuck the dropout rule off.
The dropout rule. We've already gone over that. Yeah. I just think we don't need to just change the rules to change the rules, do we? Because even the refs have got a tough gig.
Oh, 100%. And who's making these decisions? If I find out it's someone in a suit, that's going to piss me off.
Well, call it, mate.
No, PVL, he's just got an earpiece. He watches it at home. Nah, it's not going fast enough.
He's in the bunker.
No, he just watches it. He's got it on there with the ref.
he
Yeah,
goes,
6 again.
Give another one. Okay, boring.
Hey,
It's
PVL's
boring. Give it 6 again.
He's Sean Mykonos and he's telling us.
I've got a massive bet on. Fucking 6 again.
Ratings have spiked. Maths is on.
Maps.
Anyway, watch this space because I'm a bit confused. I don't know. I brought it, it was on 360 and I feel like no one really supported me. So I thought maybe people like this rule. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm a bit thinking it's unnecessary. And
you know what? People write in. Let's see if we should put out a poll.
To tell us what you think about that when you listen or watch
Shannon
this.
Shannon.
Put out the Shannon.
If you actually like the 6 again or you don't, I'd love to know what you think about this.
Yeah, honestly, right in.
Honestly, because I'm a bit, I don't know where everyone
Aaron
stands.
won't read it.
I can't read it.
All right.
It's in Braille.
Big news coming Saturday afternoon. Actually, while I was watching Super Saturday, the Bronson Xerri was unhappy at the Bulldogs and wanted a release effective immediately. It was a big story that the Bulldogs and Gus in particular shut down straight away and said that wasn't the case. No one's asked for a release and he's at the club and he's coming to training on Sunday and we're going for brekkie and all that sort of stuff. But how'd you see this, Ren?
Not surprised. Let me preface this by saying I don't know and haven't spoken to anyone within the camp. I love the club. Xerri at right centre does not work. He is not a right centre. If you watched the back end of last year, I think when Critter was out and then they might have put Carraz at left centre, I checked and I can't, obviously I don't have the luxury of being able to go over last year's games, but defensively on the right edge, him and Tuala together were letting in points. He didn't protect his inside shoulder. Now people say left and right edges are different. Different looks, different shapes. Not everyone's built to play on different edges.
They are very different.
And not everyone's a Stephen Crichton where they can play both. He's the left arm carrier of the football. He's the left centre. Now, they've put Critter over to the left, and I'm thinking, well, why are you weakening your right edge and by putting someone who's a left centre on the right? And the only reason I can see is that they've put Critter over there to put a rocket up Burton and kick out because they're not talkers. So they've loaded up their left edge.
That's a good point you make.
Ooh.
They've loaded up their left edge to keep a $900,000 playmaker accountable. That's the way I see it. And you've put a left centre on the right. Now, that's the only sort of thing I can see is that, like, I'm a left centre. Why are you putting me over on the right?
Oh, that's a good way that you've explained it there. It makes a lot of sense as to why they would have originally made this call to move the centres as they did at the back end of last year, which Xerri conceded 5 tries on that edge.
I think it was about 5, yeah.
When he played in that position in 5 games, I believe. So, you're strengthening one, you're kind of weakening another, but you got to go, okay, where's it going to benefit it the most? Kick out Burton. I think before we get to any further, further to your point, it's like when you're a half and you defend on one side of the field, your movements, your inside shoulder, you get in the right position for to making contact with your shoulder, your reads in defence, the way you move for a long time, repetition.
Yeah.
To change from one side to the other that's why you've got your left and rights in halves and back rowers and centres. It's not that easy. Crichton is elite. So that would be why he moved. So we cover that. Now
that's why I believe they moved Crichton to the left.
Yep.
To make Birdo a bit more accountable.
Yep.
Going to the right, I think he might have spat the dummy a bit, Xerri. I think there's more to it.
Does he have the right to spit the dummy?
No.
Okay. So you're saying he moved there. You think he's moved for these reasons, but he doesn't have the right to spit the dummy? Add to that. Why doesn't he have the right?
Because you do what's best for the team and you learn to be a better right centre. That's the way I agree. Because that's as simple as I can put it.
Yeah.
Learn to be a better right centre. Learn to carry the ball in the other hand. Do more repetition at training. Protect your inside shoulder. They've given you an opportunity. I don't want to go down the band thing. They've given you an opportunity, mate. You're playing in a club that's on the rise. The thing that confuses me a little bit, Braith, and I'll get your point in, your opinion on this, is telling him he's not wanted after 27. Does it need to be told now? That'd piss me off. Or am I wrong? Or is there something you can't
you're
say?
right, man. You're right. It's so hard for me, this.
If you can't, it's okay.
No, I'm again, it's like we need to disclose the fact that we love the Bulldogs and want them to win and they're our team. We're just looking at this and I'm thinking, this all kind of, and I said it, you join the dots here, you got a player who's not happy moving to the right. Okay, too bad. That's fair. We've said
Get on with it.
But you don't think they see an opportunity to go, okay, if he's not happy, I'll fucking see you later. At the end of the day, we can cover it now because we can move Burton and we can have Woods coming in or Sullivan playing 7. We move Galvin back to his preferred position of 6.
Tinfoil hat. So do you think the Dogs have leaked this or Xerri's leaked it? Because it doesn't just make the media.
I think it's irrelevant who leaks it. I think it's irrelevant who leaks it. It's the fact of the matter is that Bronson's not happy and he wants to leave, and the Dogs are probably, in my opinion, I don't know this because I haven't spoken to them, but I'm just saying I reckon they're going, okay, well, see ya. I don't think they, if you're telling a player that you don't want them 2 years in advance, you kind of plant a seed there. You want to feel wanted no matter where you are. If you don't feel wanted and you're not happy, you're not going to perform well. And then you get moved positions, you're gonna be kicking stones a little bit.
What's happened to our Dogs, our siege mentality? Keep everything in-house.
This is what shits me, man.
That pisses me off.
This is what shits me. And I'll encourage the Dogs, and this is coming from here, just make the call.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Last year we had to talk about Galvin all year and, Sexton winning the comp with him and all that, right? Now, this year it was like, let's just hope we don't need to deal with any. You know, they've got enough sort of pressure on that 6 and 7 at the moment and their evolution and where the team's going to get to. They're in such a strong position to do well this year. If you don't think that he's in your plans for further, and he's not happy, Xerri, there, he's not going to play well. He's going to bring the mood down, the vibe down, the culture down. Just say, listen, man, if you've got another club, go and do it now. And then the club can move on. And we don't, because this is going to go on for another, as long as he is there, everyone's going to be talking, is he playing next week? And then puts pressure on their performances again. And then everyone's talking about the Dogs every week.
Yeah.
When you'd rather just, remember we used to cruise through a season, man. Like no one would tell anyone anything at our joint.
Nothing.
Like, and
You had a very different squad.
oh, of course we did.
Well,
But
we had shit that going on, but we just fucking kept it internal, man.
All right,
You know,
I want to put you both on the question with it.
But just on that squad, at the end of the day, we had a good squad. But all the players, before we kicked on, we weren't it wasn't like it was a star-studded team. Just here you go, like it's brought to you put in a platter.
That's a good
like the Roy Azatazis, the Mark O'Mealys, and General Pattons and Nugget Perry and Rennie Matuas and and Corey Hughes. Mate, like there was a lot of guys in that squad, and the ones that like the Sonny Bill, he was one, right? Because he was a little he-man at 12. He was Hulk Hogan at 14. Arnold Schwarzenegger by 16.
fucking Thor.
But like and Thor by 18, like that's different, But it wasn't, we were heavily based around, keeping it in house and working our asses off for each other, and they've still got that. I'm not saying they don't have it, but they've. I just my advice, and I know because Gus does love drama. He loves it, mate. Like he's always moving the pawns. Like
Where's the
that's where my question was going, though. Because as much as I know you guys have faith in the Dogs, I said they're light years away from winning a comp, and that comes from my belief that Galvin is a 6, Burton isn't a 6, and he's not a 7. And the problem, are they looking to bring? Is it Woods? Are they looking to move pieces around so they can change their?
It gives them an out.
They've got options there. If Xerri goes, they've got money in the cap. They can move Burton because they couldn't move Burton to drop Xerri.
Correct.
That was the big thing. Well, they can't drop Xerri. That's what everyone would say when we're talking about last year.
Yeah.
No, they can. Because Sherry's not there, right?
So what's your prediction? What do you think is going to play out?
Just on the Bulldogs, they're not light years away because their defense is really good. They're not light years because defense is king with the way it is at the moment with the 6 agains and all that. You need resilience in defense and you need to have the right patterns and systems. So they're not light years, and they're halves. But that you look at the halves in the premiership winning teams, and Brisbane it was more the fullback.
Yeah.
But they don't have a fullback either, really. They've got a good fullback, not a Reece Walsh, So
at the moment, for me, and that's what, as you know, the winner comp, yes, the defence is incredible. But you're 6, 7, 1, and then 9.
That's the next level shit. That's next level shit,
That's next level shit.
Yeah.
And they don't have that nucleus there, do they, right now? And I know Gus is a forward planner.
Oh, you reckon? Yeah. Well, Gus would have panicked when he...
He must have someone up his sleeve.
No, listen, I heard that it was leaked by Xerri, and then that's why Gus put the tweet out to get on the front foot and squash it all. And
His manager,
who's
Xerri's.
it wasn't him.
All right, move on.
We know his manager.
Voldemort.
We're having drinks with him in Vegas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, it wasn't him. Anyway, so what do you think happens here then? Just to close this off.
I believe. Okay, Burton will end up in the centres. Sullivan will come in. Critter will go back to the right. Tuala against the Raiders this week has got a massive job. If he doesn't stand up and defensively sound strong, they'll make the change.
All right, so a big week ahead for the Bulldogs, big month ahead to see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting, but hopefully whatever you do, just do it. Get it done quick.
Yeah. Next segment. This is one from me.
This next segment.
It is
What have you got for us?
Coaches under fire.
Oof.
I was doing a little bit of stats. And obviously Peyton and Seibold are two coaches that are heavily under fire. But Peyton is win record, 27 from 52, 51%. Seibold, 26 for 52, 50%. Flanagan, 19 from 50, 38%.
Wow. That's gone under the radar. So that's interesting, huh? So 38%, they re-signed him too at the end of last year.
With such a good win record, why would you not? And he comes with a star half.
That is interesting. Ready?
I'm going to push back on both of you here.
Oh, I do.
Look at the rosters the other two have had compared to Flanagan.
Yep. Right. That's a fair call. Does that make it Flanagan's?
It doesn't make it. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had the roster. Simple as that. You look at what Manly's had, and you look at what the Cowboys have had. Far better roster than what Manly's had the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Dragons.
But Peyton and Seibold are going to lose their jobs though. So what do you?
How long's Peyton been there? 4 years? 3-4 years?
Yeah.
So that's understandable why he probably loses his job. How long has Seibold had his job there for?
2, is it? 2 or 3 years?
2 or 3.
Similar, 3 years maybe.
On top of that, last year he was already talking about his plans moving forward going to GM.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
So, and then you've got Flanagan, who I feel like are a very steely, hard-working, hard-nosed team, but they just don't have the roster.
I call them Timu dogs.
And I mean, he said it himself. He said they can't win the comp.
Yeah, I can't believe he's Imagine turning up the training going, we can't win it. I just did all that preseason and what's all right.
It's all right, boys. Book Barley.
What was all that 1 in a million talk?
It's not something I'd say to the team. And you know.
He's got Barley booked in
But
September.
I truly believe, he said it to take pressure off himself.
He was on booking.com and he saw these deals in September. He's like, yep.
That's a smart play because then you just pretty much write the season off, and if you don't finish last, you've had a good year. But yeah,
it's not a good record.
It isn't, but it's interesting that you brought that up. I didn't think his win record was that bad, but in saying that, they've done pretty well with the squad they've had, but it wasn't good on the weekend, and the heat's still on him. I mean, they're a powerful club, and we've said it, their fans are the most passionate, and JC will be,
Now, man,
he's eased up a little bit.
He has eased up a bit, hasn't he?
He's with Unibet now.
He gets to a point where he got so sort of...
No, his takes after the games are still funny. I love watching them.
Did you see against the Dogs? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that was funny.
He's funny, man. He's got some great analogies.
Do you reckon he's using AI? Is he that funny? Some of his comedy is fuck, that's pretty intelligent.
He's very creative. He's very creative. Don't worry, he'll be keeping his eye on this. But what do you think happens with Peyton? While we're on it, Flano's safe. What happens with Peyton and Seibold?
But they are absolutely legless. I don't know Todd other than playing against him, and I don't want to shit on coaches. I don't want anyone to do their job, and neither do you, Braith, and no one does. But they are fucking legless, and when a coach is under pressure, the mood at training, it's like you don't even want to crack a joke. You just rock up and it's like you just got to hide your laughs or anything like that because it's so serious.
Yeah.
The mood is so down.
Well, if the coach is under pressure, it means you're playing shit too. So the whole mood,
everything. You turn up the training,
you're on edge.
Don't crack any jokes. It's just quiet.
And most coaches in that position are pushing the panic button quite a bit because they are on borrowed time.
Who's favourite to get the jackpot of the two?
Well, the hard thing is if you declare now that you need a new coach, and you declare that after 2 rounds, you're pretty much telling the side the season's over. And do you want to do that?
It's like Flanagan.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, you're pretty much doing what Flano did and said you can't win.
It's actually a shorter flight from town to Bali.
But that's kind of so both clubs right now are thinking, all right, we can't pull the trigger right now. We've got to give them another 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't know, but
what do you think it is? What would be the cutoff for you, Braith? Honestly, even as a manager, as a footballer,
if I'm Cowboys because of their past seasons, I'm giving them 2 more weeks to get better.
Okay.
If I'm Manly, I'm probably giving him a little bit more. But like Crawl said last night, there's going to be PNG Chiefs, possibly the Cowboys and Manly looking for a coach.
I didn't like what someone said about Jake, how it could affect the brothers. I said, hang on.
Riccio said that.
Ricky, I'm like, Dave, listen, one player isn't bigger than the team. If he's not playing well enough,
Well, he
just
said,
because he's got two brothers there,
he said, and a lot of
I'd
people,
drop me brother and say, mate, you're out.
I pushed back. I didn't like doing it because it's Jake.
I love Jake.
Yes,
Don't get me
we all
wrong.
do. But like, how is it career suicide for a coach if he drops Jake? Like,
Your players can't
It's the
hold that
elephant in
kind
the
of-
room,
you can-
right?
The players can't hold that power over a fucking
it's
coach.
the elephant in the room too, though.
Right.
Like, we are amongst players,
Yeah.
experts, and poor Jake. You know, like he's trying his hardest, but he's just hanging onto the jersey at the moment. He's just hanging in there.
He's got an airbag on his head.
Oh, that fucking eggy.
But there was the same talk with him at Origin. Do you remember about taking captain or keeping him
Yeah.
as captain and all this stuff? And
Yeah.
Having his kind of leadership and talk in the dressing room, that is invaluable. But,
can't he have a blue shirt for that?
yeah, fair point. But,
This is something I wouldn't say. Like, I'm just going to put it out there, right?
okay.
When you're, again, at the back end of your career,
Yep.
and you're not performing like you were, right, and you can't do the things you used to do, and you're sort of playing like Jake at the moment, I saw a vision of him in the sheds, like, you know, I think it was after or at some
It
point,
might have been around halftime, I think, bro.
and no one was, you could see it was just like, no one was really buying in. Like, you could see it was a bit of a flat room.
Right.
Now, you got to think, if for you to be in a position, and I felt at the back end of my career, you can't be barking orders, telling people what to do if you're not doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And that's like a leader, like, or even the boss of a company telling you to do X, Y, and Z, and they're not holding those standards, you know, themselves.
Yep.
That's kind of where it's at,
Yeah.
and that's dangerous because it's not his fault, right? He's still trying to rev the team up. He's passionate. He wants Manly to win at all costs. He just can't do it like he used to do it.
He's not missing his assignments.
No.
They're just not as effective as
Yes.
they used to be. He's still getting there.
He physically can't do it anymore.
Physically, yeah.
And you know, it spirals because then you've got the young blokes going, well, fucking, like,
Yeah, what's
come on,
the-
mate.
come on, mate.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's like this, you're in this place like on the weekend where you're playing a team like Newcastle with no Brown and no Ponga and you're getting, what was it, 40 points slapped on them or whatever. Like at home, which is
Made him look like the Harlem Globetrotters,
yeah,
seriously.
like that was so bad. And, you know, they can't really,
The play the ball, that was
yeah.
horrific.
That summed a lot of it up.
That was
that's
what about
design.
Saab just running like just went
Back to his
right?
wing.
Looked like a glitch in a PlayStation game.
Oh, you know, we forgot to do
Fireball.
Fireball, yeah. Like our
Our fireball.
didn't have it on the thing.
No, we'll have it on the end.
That-
It's at
he's
the
got
end
it on
there,
the
right?
end.
Where?
Oh, it didn't come out on the printer. Your printer, get a new printer, man. Oh, do you have them? I've got them here. Okay, Rennie's fireball, quick fire.
You need to read that.
Yeah,
He's fireball.
I needed my glasses. We bringing Aaron into this one. Let's bring him in. All right. If you had a choice, prime Margot Robbie, or she's still prime, or Megan Fox.
You know what? When I was younger, Megan Fox, but Margot Robbie.
You know she's a dog supporter.
Yeah, that's why I love her.
Yeah, I like Margot.
Fuck, it's like Wolf of Wall Street versus Transformers. That's where you're competing. I'm going Margot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margot. All right. This one's tough. Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
Yeah, tough. Al Pacino, though.
Al Pacino. Heat. Them together. Just what a Quinella.
All right. Gladiator or Braveheart?
Oh, my two favourite movies.
Easy. Braveheart.
Braveheart, because it was the first one. Oh.
And not Gladiator because he's South.
Even Gladiator I love too, mate. Even though Rusty, I can't stand him, I loved him in that.
Strength and Honor.
Maximus Aurelius.
I'm going to go Gladiator only because I had lunch with old Rusty.
Oh, you wanker. I can name drop more.
Titanic or The Notebook?
Notebook.
Why didn't you write?
Oh, I'll go to Titanic.
I'm going
Just like your life.
just
Yeah.
like a sinking ship. I just letting your missus hold onto the door and it was freezing. I kicked it straight off.
Yeah.
Give me the door. I'm gonna go. Notebook. All right, Van Dam or Arnie?
Arnie.
I'll go Van Dam.
Get to the chopper. I'm going to go Van Dam too. Kickboxer, blood sport, death warrant. And that's our...
Stu or Alan?
Stuart.
Stu all day, baby.
Stuart, we call him.
Stuart.
And that's our fireball quick fire.
All right. Anyway, let's get to the Unibet preview. We're going to do this, go through these in depth today, these games.
Just quickly, just talk about preview, just a little gotcha for life up there. Rennie and I are playing in at halftime in 2 weeks' time. Yes, gotcha for life, good cause.
It is Gus Wallen.
We are playing at Brookie Oval.
Are we playing at Brookie?
We're playing at Brookie.
I just bagged Manly. I'm not going out there now.
No one from Manly listens to the pod anyway.
The two Kenzo boys playing together with big JWH. Must be a highlight of your career.
Different Wi-Fi over the Spit Bridge.
No, it should be good fun. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Can't wait to do a Hemi.
How's that going to go? You two playing footy.
Well, there's no defence because it's touch footy. Because I used to think defence went around the oval, so we'll be all right.
All right, let's get into this first game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, Canberra, hopefully, are they going to get the curse of us tipping them last week and coming out and winning? They are $1.85 at home. Dogs coming off the bye, $2. Let me get the teams up for you, gentlemen.
It's a tough one to call. Like, they had a big travel over to New Zealand, wet weather. Oh, no, sorry, they're at 4 Pines first. They go to Golden Point. Then they go to
New Zealand.
Now they've got to back up on a Thursday.
In Canberra. Yeah.
Canberra. A lot of travel, a lot of footy in 3 weeks. Early in the season, I get it. And then you go off the back of what we saw from the Dogs, who weren't outstanding over in Vegas. Question marks. You've got, obviously, Tuala playing in the centres. It's a tough one to call. I mean, they did have a good win down there last year. They were 20 points down and came back, the Dogs, if you remember that. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the Raiders were really good week one in that comeback win against Manly. I talked them up so much, I tipped them. They're fast, they're mobile, they're young. They're the modern day kind of rugby league team, and I still think that in them. Like, they could, if the conditions, I mean, Warriors were amazing, mind you. Like,
The scoreline didn't really
didn't
reflect the game?
The Canberra could have been up by 12 or 14 early, like if a few things went their way. And then when they kind of got, when they got out of the grind and the Warriors played so well and played tough, speed of the line, forced errors, executed everything with perfection in attack. So I'm not taking anything away from them, but it could have been a different game if they'd taken a few opportunities early. I don't think, playing in New Zealand, like with the crowd and raining and all that, and you get a bit behind, and the
intercept.
There was a lot that went against them. And then you go over to the Dogs, who have had a freshen up, and they're looking good. Like, the defense was really good in Vegas. Their attack, I expect to evolve and get better as the weeks go on. I'm going to tip, because the Raiders get Papali'i back, who they missed over there as well. I'm a big fan of Noah Martin in the back row. Their back row's really good. Horsburgh and Young.
Martin.
Oh, yeah, man. He's like a country boy, just a mean motherfucker. Fears nothing.
Titanium bones, just drinks fucking milk straight from the cow's teat, like he's just one of those good.
Yeah. Runs good lines.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Canberra here, purely because they've played more footy. I love my Dogs, obviously.
You don't have to
I'll
say
that.
every time.
I do. All right, but I just think they've played more footy. They've got more under their belt in terms of where they need to improve. It's at home. It's a sticky play to the Dogs. It's that siege mentality. I think the break from the Dogs after Vegas might be a little bit too long, and they might miss the jump with Canberra. So I'm going to go the Raiders.
Yeah, I worry about the speed of the Raiders if it's a dry track, and the bounce back factor. Ricky would be filthy, but it has been a lot of travel for them, and I I don't know. I just feel like the Dogs are going to be steely and ready for this one. And the freshen up, they're coming into this, even though it's early on in the year. That's a big trip, New Zealand, in the rain, getting smashed by the Warriors. I'm going to go the Dogs. I think they'll win a close one.
Okay.
Ooh. I'm going Canberra. All right, Chookies coming off the win. They go in as outsiders, even though they got plays back. $2.39 against Penrith Panthers, who have been absolutely dominant.
They have like one of the worst records against Penrith, don't they?
They do. Horrific. But they actually have a very good Friday night record at home.
But still horrific against Penrith.
Like horrific.
Yeah, it's
Horrific.
It's horrific.
Look, we spoke about the Roosters against South, and we know where their strengths and weaknesses are. Reece Robson's coming back. The way Nathan Cleary has, when you were young and you'd clock a game, like you just you'd figure it out. You know what I mean? Like Street Fighter, you'd finish it.
Yeah.
He's
like timing in boxing. Once you get the timing of the other fighter,
he just knows the game so well, the systematic style of footy that he's got so much control over the game. Defensively, they're outstanding. They'll strangle the Roosters. They'll force them into errors, and they will go 3-0. You got Liam Martin coming back into the side.
what about
I'm really loving what I'm seeing from Blaze Talangi as the development as a half. Just lobbing that ball over to Milky. What's his name? The winger, Thomas Jenkins. How good's he playing?
I love McLean.
Oh,
He's like Superman, honestly.
he's 19. He's a kid.
Yeah, he's 19 or 20. Like, he is so strong. And his positional play is perfect. His defence is aggressive. Penrith are just so good. Like, they were good last year. They had the worst start ever, and they nearly went on to win the comp, really. They're a bee's dick away from making the GF.
Blaze Talangi so much?
I've always been a big fan. Like, I've loved him since when they bought him, I thought it was a great signing.
Just how quick he's developed into a 5'8", like a classy 5'8". He usually takes kids like that. Like Jerome Luai showed class of early, like you'd see it, but it took about 3 years. He's in his second year, and I'm like, this kid's just going to go from strength to strength. I didn't know young Freddie Lussick was at the Pen.
He's moved around a bit lately. Yeah, I think you just got to go Penrith. In my opinion, the Roosters, I think they're a possibility of causing an upset. They're not quite there yet. Like, they were good last week without being great. To be fair, like if you're really going to have a look at the two teams and the way that they played the first 2 weeks of the year, and with the way that Cleary's playing with Talangi, Edwards has been so good. Their packs. Look at their pack. I think they win. Penrith just beat them.
Then we go into the 8 o'clock game, grand final rematch. Storm $1.39. Broncos backs against the wall, $3.01, and Reynolds is playing, even though he didn't look after his injuries.
No, he's not playing.
He's not playing.
He got ruled out yesterday.
Thanks to Fox.
Yeah.
I reckon it was the flight down.
Yeah, he's not playing. He's out. So what does that look like on who have they got down there?
1 sec, I'll get it up here.
They've lost their last 10 down there, haven't they?
Still says
They've won. Yeah, they've lost 9.
9.
And they've won 1 from 12 down there. So it's over a decade. They haven't won for over a decade in Melbourne, Brisbane.
That's a good start.
They lost round 24 last year before they made their run. I can't possibly tip Brisbane. I just can't. Yeah. We can go on all we like, but the bottom line is that they've been terrible, and they're going up, and they got no Reynolds, which he hasn't been on fire, but like they're going up against a team who's playing really good and just don't lose in Melbourne against them. So how could you possibly tip Brisbane? Is it like? Tell me why this is going to be the time that they break that record. Like, have you seen any evidence to suggest why this would be the time? I haven't. It would be a major upset.
I'll give you a huge rate. I've been thinking, big fan of him, Faye Logo. How good is he?
Love him.
Far Longer versus Reece Walsh. But Far Longer was just like a...
I would have had him in the team last year.
Personally saying.
Those
I was
three
saying that
tries,
last year.
like...
He's a freak.
He's a fucking... And Reece Walsh is a freak. Far Longer is a different kind of freak.
Yeah.
They both have speed. They both have footwork, but
Well, Reece has got more power. And whereas
he's got more probably stepping ability, footwork, awareness. And I heard a story that he didn't he came to the club to Melbourne and it took him a while to get him fit as a young Polynesian kid. But so they'll probably move Ben Hunt to the halves, you'd say.
Yeah.
What happens then? Them there now they'll be 0-3 if that does happen. How's Madge feeling?
Probably no different to what he felt round one. The pressure he gets put on him, he's not feeling good.
He's going to take him on a boat cruise.
You got to get on the piss again.
What about Buzz? How much would Buzz just be?
Well, Buzz is just worst timing. I said it after they lost the World Club Challenge. Imagine now. He'd be having a field day. He'd be having a field day.
Not to keep shitting on Brisbane, just the way they're going at the moment, you can't go past them. But you know what? Dragons, the first half, they did do well.
Yep.
And if they can take anything away, the Broncos, just watch that first half against the Storm. But just given what we've seen, I can't go past the Storm.
Next
game, we have the Knights, who were impressive, but they are going to be missing two of their key players. They are at home, $2.37.
Such a shame, eh?
Warriors, this
is a hard one.
$1.59.
This is a hard one because the Knights have been the best, the biggest improvers and amazing in Vegas, and then that win on the weekend was incredible. But they, and you know what, Santa Smith's been great. Fletcher Sharp was awesome in Vegas, and Fletcher Hunt was sensational on the weekend. But there's still big outs, and they'll catch up here at some point. I reckon they'll bounce out this week. We can take a lot of confidence from last week, and they'll be very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. But you got an informed Warriors team. But I'm still even though Tanner Boyd's had 2 career best games, there's still vulnerabilities there, and he's still trying to prove he's built for first grade. Luke Hanson at 5'8", which means that Harris Tavita's out.
Yeah, and Chance is out as well.
Harris Tavita got the head knock. You know what? Who's favourites in this? The Warriors.
The Warriors are. So it was $1.59, $2.37.
Yeah. This is an interesting one.
Warriors for me, their defence is just improved out of sight. Their aggression, their line speed. The 2 big guns missing for Newcastle. I just think the Warriors, if they want to be serious about this season, this would be a big, Webster be saying, hey, you got to win on the road, and this is an opportunity to really take advantage of a team that's under strength and show this competition that we mean business this year. So I'm going the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Warriors too. But if there was a start there, I'll be looking at taking that with Newcastle.
All right, we've got the Sharks after being pommeled by a genuine top 4 team, $1.43, and then the Dolphins, $2.85. Took a while to get over the Titans, but got there in the end.
Is Ocean Protect Shark Park?
Yes.
Okay. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Dolphins yet, especially I felt sorry for the Titans. They got away with that lead, but it was just that class towards the end of the game, especially with the hammer and stuff. Yeah. They're just not where they should be. The Dolphins, I had them in my 8. And
not even close.
They're not even close.
Oh, poor on the weekend.
Really poor.
That was the lowest. That first 40 minutes of that game was hard to watch.
Really hard to watch.
It was hard to watch.
They're just not clicking. And given that Sharks at home, they generally like to play a team lower on the ladder than the other Sharkies.
If the Dolphins had just showed a bit more last week, that was an important last 10 to 15 minutes for them. The hammer stood up and really won the game for them. And it should give them confidence now. They're getting some players back too. They're starting to get a few players come back into the squad. It should hold them in good stead to now get on a bit of a roll. But this is a hard one to sort of get that roll going. They're flat track bullies, the old Sharkies. They love playing at home, and they all play their best when they're there. They're hard to beat there. They play the top shelf team in Penrith and showed us again that they're not there yet. But that doesn't mean that they won't come out and pump the Dolphins, right? Some reason
You're feeling Dolphins.
I'm feeling the Dolphins for some reason. I think they couldn't have played any worse the first 2 rounds, and they got to click at some point. You know, there's got to be a.
What does it take from the click early?
You got to get Trey Fuller in that team, man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's confidence, and you know, you've probably implemented some new systems in defence and even in attack, and you still got Cody and Isaiah's been. Katoa's been quiet. Like he did the kick for the hammer and all that. Like he did a couple of good things, but he hasn't been nowhere near where I thought this year. They've still got the speed. Farnworth looked like he had spiders on him. He was still looking like they could tackle him. I'm like, no one can tackle him. He kept cutting back there in the middle, but they got to get him more quality ball in good field position at the right time, and that's where really Nikorima and Katoa should be doing, which they were doing last year at times. But I don't know. I've got a bit of a feeling. Like, I mean, Cronulla walk away from this going, we thought we were going to win the comp, and go and play Penrith.
You know where I feel Dolphins are? They're stuck between trying to be a defensive side and still having that attacking flair.
Yeah.
You know, like they've just missed out on the 8 2 years in a row. They finished 9th, and it's just like they haven't figured out the balance of what sort of side they are. Like they want to be defensively like sound, but then don't have the energy for the classy plays as well.
They've been so impressive for a new club, a relatively new club. They've been so impressive for what they've been able to achieve. Yeah,
if I was going to go and upset for the round, like I'd probably go the Dolphins, but I can't tip them. I'll tip Cronulla in a close one.
All right, we've got the away team, South Sydney at home fight. $1.57.
Didn't they carry on about that?
The visiting team.
The visitors. The visitors get a home game at Polytech Gosford. $1.57 against the West Tigers, who were impressive.
This is hard too. This is getting harder every week.
What's the odds?
They were $1.57 Souths, West Tigers $2.40.
This could be my bet of the round.
Who?
Tigers.
Really? Yeah. Okay, why?
You got Uncle Wayne against his protege Benji. I just like the energy that the Tigers are playing with. Their offloads. They're just playing with a level of confidence that I really enjoyed watching on the weekend. I know it was at Leichhardt against a team that's been, really struggling, but I still feel like South is there to be beaten. And I've just got a feeling.
Yeah, okay. I think it's going to be extremely close. I'll go against you. I'll go South. I think South are going to get better with every game. I don't think they walk. I thought Wayne would have been happy even though they lost, and they would have took a lot from that game against the Roosters. And I only see them improving as their combinations get more familiar.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving right along. We've got Parramatta Eels coming off the win, $1.45 at home against JC's Dragons, $2.76.
I say it every week. The Dragons just drag oppositions down into their little cellar. It's like they just take them
into the basement.
And Joseph Fritzl them, just lock them in and don't let them out. It's just what they do. They Para are so vulnerable if they don't control the ball. If they control the footy in this game, Para, they'll win and win well, I reckon. But if they don't, they're playing the exact team who can make them pay because they'll just complete or they'll just stay in the hustle, stay in the game and score when they need to. That's what the Dragons do. They annoy the shit out of you. They don't go away. They don't let the scoreline get out of hand until like they did on the weekend, which was later in the match. But they just annoy the shit out of you. And again, I'm going to tip Para, and if they complete anywhere over 70, 75%, I reckon they win.
Yeah.
And they win well.
Para at Combank. Yeah, I'm going Para.
All right. And last game
for this one.
Jesus.
Cowboys at home, $1.60.
I'm glad they moved.
Coach under massive pressure. The Titans, $2.34. Very unlucky not to get the win last week.
I'm glad they moved me from the Sunday ticket to Friday night footy on Fox.
I would have loved to see you at halftime. It's been a fantastic
the last
first
few years
half.
I've had to sit through a few pearlers, but
Channel 9 News is on at 6.
Gee. I'm just going the Cowboys because it's at home. There you go. I can't, I'd love to tip the Titans, but, man, I don't know.
I love Keanu Kinney. I'm going to go
I
to
love
Titans.
Keanu Kinney.
I just feel like there's just too much turmoil at Cowboys at the moment. Not turmoil, just not enough energy, good vibe around the place. And Titans showed for
It was a huge turnaround, wasn't
50
it?
minutes,
From Cronulla.
yeah.
It was a huge turnaround. They were a hell of a lot better. They should have won the game, though. That was a hard watch the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes. And you can tell there's still a lot of guys in that team that are trying to get their confidence up and that belief that they can win games and can do it. And you could see at the end of that game, there was a lot of guys there that hadn't won many games the last few years and just didn't know how to ice it against the Dolphins. And then the hammer just goes, give me the ball. And, there's a different level there. And you can still see that. And, there's still Deard and Drinkwater and the likes over there, which, they're players, mate. Deard, and he can turn one on. This is, the more I look at this now, you go back to the Todd Payton and you think if they lose this, mate, he could be gone next week. Yeah. If they lose 3 in a row and they lose the third one at home to the Titans, man, he's halfway at the door.
He'd get nervous every time his phone rang.
You
put it on silent.
Do not disturb.
Just turn up the next weekend for the game. Hey, boys.
Tell you who needs to be better. I know he's your client. It's Lockie needed to be better at the end of the game.
I've got to agree with you.
Yeah.
Got to agree with you.
Yeah.
If end of the day, mate, that's what you're there for. I thought he was improved from the week before all-round performance, but when the game was on the line, he needed to ice the moment or just put a better couple of sets on, and it wasn't good enough. That last pass in particular. I think Brimson as well, mate. I don't see Brimson as a half at all, and I feel like Lockie's kind of, when he's looking to team up with Brimo on that, he's not a natural half, so there's not much there. He looks awkward when he does a cross play or he skips across field.
Even his kicks are weird.
Yeah, his kick. It's all it's
erratic.
It's how do you explain it? It's not natural. That's for sure.
Yeah. I see they've got 3 fullbacks: Keanu Kinney, AJ, and I feel like Jaden Campbell's a fullback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, I'm going to go with the Titans. They're going to turn around. I'd love to be able to back.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.